Blooper. Okay, welcome to the Touch of Faith podcast. This is the very first episode. And this episode is just like an introduction. And I know this isn't posted on a Monday, but I was like, I'm just gonna give you the introduction episode on a separate day of the week before like an actual real talk episode is coming. Um, but anyways, the things I'll talk about in this episode is about me, why I started the podcast, and like a sneak peek on like future topics that I'll be talking about in future episodes. So start about me. My name is Taylor Wolbach, and I'm 14 years old, 15 in February. And my favorite Bible verse is 1 Peter 5:7, which reads, "Turn all your worries over to Him. He cares about you." And I'm gonna tell you like why it's my favorite Bible verse and like how it became my favorite Bible verse. Um, why is because I I've dealt with and I still do deal with it, like a lot of anxiety. And this just like goes along with my life so much. And I'm just like, I just like it relates to me. And it like became my favorite Bible verse. Well, in fourth and fifth grade, I had really bad anxiety. I would worry like about my family. I would worry about things that I didn't need to worry about. And it was like I just would always freak out at school. Like I would go into the bathroom just because it's like I'm so anxious and I'm like worried. And I would go into the bathroom to pray. Like that sounds so weird, but like that's the only place I could like bring myself to do it. And so I always had this one single prayer that I would always pray in the bathroom at school. And literally I would go into a stall and sit in the stall and just pray because I was like, I am just so overwhelmed with things and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I was in public school at this time. Um, but in fifth grade at church, it was like our move up service or whatever, our move up day from when like we moved up to like the next grade. And we had this like fifth grade graduation thing and we needed our favorite Bible verse. And I didn't have a favorite Bible verse. So I like talked to my parents about it. And I was like, I don't have a favorite Bible verse. Like, I've never really thought about a favorite Bible verse or like anything. And so we were talking about like what would relate to me and like what would be a good favorite Bible verse. So like I read through my Bible and me and my parents talked and then I found and like my dad, he was a pastor, so he gave me like good like verses that would go with like what I was experiencing. So we found First Peter 5:7 and I read it and literally I memorized it. Like after the first time I read it, I memorized it right away. And I was like, this is the verse. Like this is my favorite verse because it relates to me. It helps me, like it's a good reminder and it just is like it's just it relates to me. And so it was like, okay. So then that's how First Peter 5:7 became my favorite Bible verse, and it's just like stuck with me all the way along, and it's still my favorite Bible verse. When I can get a tattoo, I'm planning on getting a tattoo, just like First Peter 5:7 somewhere, like on my arm, and like it's just that was like a good it's a big it's meaningful to me. Um, anyways, so that's like my favorite Bible verse, like why it is, and, like how it became my favorite Bible verse. Um, and if you don't have a favorite Bible verse yet, then like that's okay. But if you want to find your favorite Bible verse, just read the Bible. Just like read it. And if you get the Bible app, you can like search things like forgiveness, and it'll give you verses on forgiveness or like words that like you want it to kind of relate to, and it'll give you verses and just read through those. Like that's basically what we did. Anyways, sports. I do volleyball for like just to fill my time up in the fall, which I do like volleyball. I love volleyball. And then track and equestrian, which is horses, like horseback riding, and track and like horses are like my main two sports, but I love them all so much. My school, so I go to so um, we moved in August, and um, I went to a public school where I used to live, and I didn't have a really good friend. Like I didn't have good Christ centered friends there, and that like caused my actions to like be unholier, I guess you could say, or like yeah. Um, but like my action, like what I did wasn't good. My friends weren't good for me. They weren't healthy for me. And like I'll talk more about like that in another episode because there's a certain topic that'll go with it. But now I go to this like private Christian academy, and um, it's like a small community. It's a co-op kind of thing, so it's like 2 days actually in person at school and like 3 days I'm homeschooling. And I've wanted to go homeschooling just because like drama I like got pulled into in public school or like something, which I love public school. Like I loved like kind of the environment. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like I really liked public school, but it wasn't like healthy for me. And I will say I'm not a big like fan of my school, but I also went from a school that has like really good education. Like the state I lived in was one of the states with like the best education in the whole U.S. It's like a state with like okay education, and so like it's different for me. And but like I love my teachers. Most like I love them, and I really like my teachers, and I really like the school and like what they do. Like we have chapels every month. At the end of every month, we have this thing called Vine Voices, which is like a student-led chapel, basically. At the beginning of every month, and we always bring like the Bible or the gospel or something into like lessons of some sort. Kind of, we have a Bible class and like all these things, and we have they're called tracks. So like there's like a track 8A, and then a track 8B, a track 7A, track 7B, a track 9A, track 9B, and then there's like a track, and then there's just 10th grade because 10th grade doesn't need two separate ones or separate tracks, and it's like the same for 11th and 12th grade. But um, so like we're those tracks. So I'm in track 9A, which means I'm like in all the same classes. Like I have all the same people in my classes from Bible to English, and like because it's like I had Bible and math, which math I have like eighth graders and seventh graders in my math, just because like movers and like they're really smart, which is like good for them. Which also something about this year is like at my old school, I would be in geometry this year, and I'd be ahead from like where I am now. But since we're a private school and they're behind from public schools, um, I'm in like a I'm relearning the things I learned last year, which for math that's probably good because math is not my strong suit, I will say. But anyways, but it's like I'm in the classes with the same people for literally all my classes, and like some of them aren't in my math because like some of them moved up into geometry, but like I'm like it's like I'm so close. Like I feel like we've gotten like a good friend group in our class, and our school's like so like it's small. It's not like a huge like there's not a lot of students there. Like it's a small school, and it's such like a like I love it because it's a small community, and I do so much better in small communities. And I'm also here and I can work from home and work in my own time. And they don't care about like if you're traveling. Like they literally said in like their like guidelines kind of thing that they want us to travel. Like they want us to go on vacation. because like we can still do our schoolwork like afterwards, and we can still like do all of our schoolwork, but they encourage us to travel and like take time off and like take a vacation or something, which is so nice because I'm like, that's just a good break for like a student or something. But I also just love the homeschool aspect of it and like the Christian aspect of it, and like that I really like. But I will say, I mean, there's been moments where I'm like, I should go back to public school, which I'm doing track with a public school. I'm doing like track and volleyball with a public school in the town I live in because I live 45 minutes away from the campus for our for school. So I like, and they don't have like a sports really thing yet. They don't have like a sports program yet. So I'm like doing sports with one of the public schools in like the town I live in. But like I will say that I miss public school and I've debated on going back, but then I've kind of realized like even though I might not like the education at the school I am at right now, might not like it either at the public school. And I'd rather have friends who are Christ centered than have friends who aren't, because then that's just unhealthy for me. Um anyways, that's my school kind of situation. And then work, since I am 14, I can't legally like I can't like work at like a clothing store or something, or like I guess I can, but like I just don't have like anywhere related to work kind of like that. So I do have two businesses. I have a photography business that's like starting up, which I do like equine photography, and I'm starting to like want to do sports photography. But like I'm just starting that up. So like I'm a beginner, but it's going pretty well. And then a nail business, which is also going pretty well, which I like just started this year. But they're both going really well. And then I have the podcast, which I love so much. And then I have like a summer job, which is like starting this summer. Like it's my first time there, but like working there. Um, but it's like at a summer camp that my mom grew up at. My mom worked at. My dad speaks at. I went like I was and still am a camp. I am a camper there that summer. So like that's just all these things. And so like me and my sister are working there this summer, which I'm really excited. Anyways, so that was a lot about me. Um, Now why I started this podcast is, well, I've always like thought like what would it be like if I started my own podcast? Like what would I talk about? What would it be fun? Would I enjoy it? And then my friend, she was like, we should start a podcast where we're sharing the gospel. Like where we speak truth into people and like where we share the gospel and just give them points and like help them walk with God and like all these things. And I was like, that's a really good idea. And it was like me, her, and then one of our guy friends, because it was like a trio. And then our guy friend was like, I like it's just gonna be kind of weird. It's just like two girls and a guy, kind of, I guess. But he was like, and he didn't really want to do it. And so we were like, okay. So me and my friend did it, and we posted our first episode and we posted our second episode. But they're like, she's a friend from school, so she lives 45 minutes away, and like she's busy, and like she's in her busy season, and then I'm about to start getting into my busy season, and we both don't have our license, so we can't like drive. Like our parents would have to drive us. We live 45 minutes away. Like, it was just hard planning, and we didn't want to do Zoom calls every week because that just wouldn't be very like engaging, kind of. So we're just like, let's just stop, like take a break from it, and we'll just take a break from it, and we won't delete any of the accounts that we have. We'll just keep those up just in case sometime in the future we come back to that podcast. And so then I was like, well, I really want, like, I wanted to keep going on with the podcast. And it was also that thing where, like, to me, I wasn't so busy, and like for her, it was just like a fun idea, and then I kind of had it like kind of basically for fun idea, but then also as a priority to me, and like all these things, and so it kind of caused arguing because we couldn't like we would plan things right or like something, and so we're just like, let's just take a break because we don't want this like fun idea to get in the way of our friendship also. But so we kind of just did it. So we just like stopped it, and not like forever, just for a little bit, because we're like, we don't like we want to do this, but it's just hard. But I was like, well, I'm going to start my own podcast, because before we started that, I was like, this is like starting a podcast would be fun, like of myself, like just somehow. And so I was like, I'm gonna start one, and I felt God like speak to me and like point me towards this, and I was like, I'm gonna start mine, and then like if we start ours back up again, like I'll do both, but like I'm gonna start mine. So that's how I came to start the Touch of Faith podcast, which I thank God like every day for giving me this idea, for giving my friend that idea in her brain, but then also like before that, like thoughts in my brain. And it's also crazy because before she brought up that idea, literally like 3 days before, I was having thoughts about starting a podcast, and then literally 2 days later she brought up this idea, and I was like, whoa, like that's just crazy. um but anyways, and then future topics that I will be talking about in other episodes, or like future episodes, is one of them I'll have like a testimony like podcast where I'll like share my testimony, um and I'll like talk about how I came to writing it, the first time I shared it, the feelings I had when I first shared it, like all that. Another one is like relationships, because I feel like in our like teenage years, or even just really whenever, um we're always like, I we want like the like person God has for us, like in like a moment that we want that person, but like and stuff. So I'm like gonna talk about that and like other things about it, um which I will say, no, I haven't gotten like, I'm single, and I like all these things, but and like it just kind of through my experience, like through my point of view, my perspective, like I'll be sharing things through my perspective on that topic. Another one is walking with God, so like the rewards and struggles of walking with God, and then like just like how you can walk with God, and like the journey of walking with God. And another one is prayer, so like when to pray, kind of like a how to pray kind of thing, and just like, yeah, the significance of prayer. And then there'll be like special guest ideas, like special guest episodes where I'll have like someone, like a special guest, come, and kind of it's like kind of an interview episode. So like they'll share their testimony and their experiences with walking with God, some tips and like thing points they have, kind of thing. And then I'm gonna call it a craft and talk episodes. So where basically it'll be kind of like a vlog episode where I'm like vlogging of like I'll have like a craft that I'll be doing that's like a fun craft, like Bible keychains, or like a Bible chain, or like something like that. And then there's like another one that's a surprise that I can't say, but like that. And so like I'll vlog of me getting all the supplies for that craft, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about like a topic while making that craft. And then an Easter series, which it will be there will be 3 episodes in that, or no, 2 episodes, and it'll be from March to April, and that's just like talking about things like with Easter, so like Palm Sunday and like Good Friday and then Easter and like the meaning of it, the significance of it, and like the story basically. And then I kind of have like a lined up plan for the podcast episodes. So next week I will be talking about planting the seed, which I'm really excited for because I think that would be a good one. And then there's like all these other topics and things. Um, the surprise like craft and talk episode will be coming at the end of February, so look forward to that. And it's not a craft for me, it's a craft for you guys. So I was like, this, like God put this in my heart to do because I've been wanting to do one of these, but I was like, well, maybe I should do it for them instead. But anyways, that was my little introduction episode, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Um, my email should be in my bio, which you can send me any like questions you have or prayer requests or like things you need prayer for basically, and like just all those things. But I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope y'all have a great new year, and I'll see you guys next week. So bye.